So how's it going? I'm here in Japan. I'm doing a bit of surf casting and I'm fishing the South African rig, which I call the big game, with dingle dangles, and this is a 2-0 hook, and I've been missing a few fish. I can't tell if it was the hook too big or was the hook too small. So now I'm going to retie another dingle dangle on a bigger hook. The most simple way you could possibly imagine to do it. Anybody can do it. Doesn't take any special tools, just a few components. So this is stuff I've made here in Japan. I arrived here with no gear. The jigging wasn't going terribly well, so now I've decided to throw some baits out, and I fish the way I normally do, which is South African style with rigs like the South Africans use. This is a continental rod. That's a BG 4500, 40-pound line, 110-pound leader. And yeah, as I was saying, I want a bigger hook, which is a 6-0. And so I'm going to tie a dingle dangle for that now, just to show you how easy it is. I have a video on how to make reusable dingle dangles, but I brought like 3 with me for the bigger rig I have with me. But this is for the smaller rigs. I didn't bring any because I thought if I needed to, I could just buy what I needed here and do it on the beach. So this is a quicker, easier and slightly cheaper way to do it. Okay, stay tuned. So some of you might know this as a dongle rig. I assure you it's not called a dongle rig, it is actually called a dingle dangle. It comes from South Africa. So you're going to need some 100-pound braid. Braid is best for it because it doesn't stretch and it needs to support the weight of casting. So I go 100, 110, no less. 8 strands, 4 strands, doesn't matter. Then you will need some rig tubing. Plastic works best in my opinion. And if you like, you can fish float on top of this. I tend not to do it because I don't want more stuff in the water than is necessary. So then you need 2 beads. I use 10mm and 8mm. 8mm is going to go up the top and the 10mm is going to go down the bottom. And this is a 4mm jigging ring. You can get them anywhere on the internet. That goes in the bait clip on the end. So I've already got it tied onto the hook that I'm going to use just to save myself a bit of time and effort. And I've already got the plastic cut as well. So there's the rig there. That is in actual fact a jigging hook, right? Because I didn't have a circle in that size, but it works almost exactly the same. You can see the similarity. And I'm not worried about it deep hooking fish because that's what the dingle dangle is all about, okay? So first of all, you start with your 8mm bead. You slide that on like that. This is this long so you can tie the knot at the end. That knot there is 3 granny knots, that's all it is. Then you put your piece of plastic tubing on. The plastic tubing dictates the size of the bait. South African baits aren't long, they're fat, and that's why the rigs are tied that way as well, to allow for the girth of the baits. Okay, so that's what it looks like now, right? You can see where I'm going if you've watched any of my other videos. The difference is, on the other dingle dangles I use, I tie one of these up the top and I cover it in heat shrink and I place it over the point of the hook. That way I can just change them whenever I want it. I don't have to go through this, you know, I just take one off and put on a bigger one or whatever. So then you put on your jigging ring. Okay, now in order to keep it so the beads don't move around and there's no slack in the core of the dingle dangle, you need to pull a bend into the plastic like this. Okay, that's all you need to do. Now you tie 3 knots in it. You can use 2. Normally I'll use 2 and some super glue, but I don't have any super glue, so I'm just going to do 3 knots just to make sure. So you just do an overhand knot in it. It's not complicated. A granny knot, overhand knot, whatever you want to call it, right? And once you get the first one tied, you can then let go, okay? So that's the first one tied. Now you can let go. And you just put 2 more on top of it. Now you're going to think you're not going to be able to get the bait on that. Well, now you have to tighten the dingle dangle just to pull the slack out of it. So I'm going to put it in these pliers and I'm going to pull on the hook and I'm going to pull on this. And that just pulls the slack out of the dingle dangle. So there you go, there. Perfect for building a bait on. Cut off that little, just leave a little bit. So if it does slip, you'll be alright. It's not going to, but you have to have insurances. So that's it there. Ready to go on the sea. Hope you find it useful. I hope it catches you a fish wherever you are in the world. Remember, I'll see you on the beach. Bye.